Interviewing is, it's always going to be a fun thing to do. I think there are people who enjoy it, people who don't. At the end of the day, if you do enough of them, you'll start to get a gauge on what's out there and who's out there. You'll learn a lot more about people. But I think some of the most important things to look for are they coachable, teachable, first and foremost. It's great if they're high performers and we love that. We want them to be driven. All those things are important keys, but can they put that aside enough to learn a new thing, to take on a new thing? Because if they're not pliable, then what you're doing is interrupting your culture instead of adding to your culture. I've always said, if you want to maintain a culture, then you promote people from within. If you want to change a culture, you hire from the inside out. Now that's typically around leadership, but it's the interview process is something that I look for specifically. I look for people who are humble. I look for people who are intelligent and people who want to do something greater than they're doing now. I think those are some keys. And then we have to give them that greater to look at. That's how we keep them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put you on the spot. We'll see. But
yeah,
I loved asking people that interview others. Is there a particular interview question you like to ask that really kind of puts people on edge and go, oh, I didn't prepare for that? And you can, who they are and they stumble for a second or they have to pause. But then you get some truth, I feel like, in those moments. So do you have a question or one or two you like to ask?
I think one that throws people off and they may not see coming. One of my favorite questions to ask, whether it's in an interview or whether it's just from a person, that really kind of gives me an insight to who that person is. I like to ask, when you were in kindergarten and the teacher asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up, what did you say? It's not common.
Yeah.
But most of them have to sit back and look, and it forces them to go, okay, what did I say? But you're going to get a real answer because nobody's going to fake that. Oh, I wanted to be doing exactly this. No, you didn't even know this existed, right?
Yeah, right.
People will say, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a cowboy, a football player, whatever it is. And that gives you a little bit of insight. That if somebody says that they wanted to be a vet when they were younger or a nurse or something like that, then I can immediately assume about that person that that's a person who desires to help other people. And if that's what I'm looking for, then it's good. If that's going to be a good fit. But that's one of the questions I ask. And then if it's a leadership position, I always ask, is it more important to develop a person's strengths or to develop their weaknesses?
Okay, speak on that a little bit. I'm intrigued.
Well, so we have a tendency to admire the strengths of people and give them one area to use those strengths. And that's important. I believe that a person's strengths should be pushed to the forefront always.
Yeah.
But then there's the weaknesses. And is it more important that we develop those or that we just lean on the strengths? I'm curious to what people's response to that is. It gives me an insight to what type of leadership they may bring. Because I don't think we can ignore our weaknesses. And I don't think that we can skate by on just strengths. I think both are equally as important. So it's always an interesting answer to that question. And it tells you a lot about a person.